I got a cross versus battle for y'all tonight, and it is Kurama versus Mihawk. Mihawk versus Kurama. Kurama at full power. That's Yoko Kurama. You see it in the thumbnail. That's why you clicked on it. First scenario, they're fighting in One Piece. In the second scenario, they're fighting in Yu Yu Hakusho. Now, when it comes to physical strength, we've seen more from Kurama than we've seen from Mihawk. People who actually watch, both animes can comment, and I need you to comment if you're watching this video. I need you to do that because it's true. And in Kurama's strength, he's stronger than Mihawk. He's fought stronger opponents than Mihawk. He's fought opponents that are planetary. Now we know Shigure is planetary, and we know that Sensui is planetary, and he himself is planetary at the end of the series. Kurama is. Because all S-class demons are ranked planetary levels of destruction. And also, if you know anything about Yu Yu Hakusho, you know that Sensui's the weakest of the S-class. He's lower S-class level. And at the end of, the chapter Black Arc, he was the villain, but then there was another season, and, we found out that the demons of Demon World, they're high S-class level. And then, Kurama and Hiei were getting to that level. So yeah, man, we ain't fucking playing games when it comes to that. Physical strength goes to Kurama. Speed goes to Kurama as well. Mihawk moving around with that big ass sword during Marineford, I wasn't seeing like hella speed. I seen some agility and I seen that, but Kurama, he's moving so fast, like he's doing that like flash step shit compared to what Mihawk's doing. He ain't disappearing like that and reappearing. That's the legendary bandit. That's the white fox yoga Kurama, nigga. You gotta know that shit, son. If you're older than me and you're watching this video, I remember I'm 27, so like as of this video, right? You gotta know that. That's Yoko Kurama, son. You don't forget that shit. Durability, no, durability goes to Kurama. And like you guys could make the argument for Mihawk. This is the category. I'm like, okay, you could give it to Mihawk if you wanted to because he does have Armanaki. But my thing is, man ain't using it on his body like that. He's more so focused on his sword having the Armanaki, right, and feeding that to his sword. He might have it on his arms, but he don't have it on his face, on his legs, and Kurama's a person, and we'll get to that. Kurama's winning the durability category with me. When it comes to endurance, it's going to Kurama as well. Kurama's fought in longer fights than Mihawk. Mihawk has not shown to be fighting in long fights. Now, his fight with Shanks might have been long, and we don't know anything else. His fight with Zoro will probably be long, but that's yet to be seen, man. Intelligence goes to Kurama. He's like the strategist of their group. He really is the guy who like thinks. He's the guy with the fucking brain. He can analyze the situation and be like, what do I have in my toolkit to like take care of this guy? Because he also has experience. He's thousands of years old. Mihawk's only 43. A mere 43 to thousands of years. Nah, man, that's not enough experience. Try again in another 1,000 years, and still not. But close skills go to Mihawk. Mihawk will be having to run up on Kurama using his sword skills, and Kurama doesn't really have sword skills. He can pull out a vine and turn it into like some kind of spear, sword type thing, or like a piercing weapon, but it's not swordsmanship. Range skills go to Kurama though. He can summon all different kinds of plants. Mihawk can't prevent that from happening. He can see it happening. Recovery goes to Kurama. He knows of the herbs and shit that can heal you and stuff. He knows of that stuff. He does know all that shit, man. He's really smart and experienced. I know why people like Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho, man. Um, when it comes to hacks, It goes to Kurama. Mihawk has armament hockey, has observation hockey. He's the best swordsman in the world. But that's not putting, like, when I'm telling you, boy, you gotta watch Yu Yu Hakusho before you start running your mouth. Watch Yu Yu Hakusho. The S class demons are all planetary, and Sensui was the weakest of the S class, beings. With his, weak, the weakest member of S class, being the weakest member of S class, he was shaking like the physical earth, right? With his aura alone. He wasn't even using any attacks. He had to go into Demon World, a vast, um, like badlands that go on forever, nigga. That's basically how Demon World is, and it's described and is, it's vast. Like when I like our solar system is small in comparison to Demon World, bro. You know, that's how that shit is, bro. So watch both and then come back to this video, and if you've watched it already, you must watch this video, man. I'm hoping so. Hacks go to Kurama, and then environment goes to um Mihawk in the first scenario because it's in One Piece. And they're fighting at Buggy's island, where they say they're fighting there. But even so, Kurama's gonna end up winning that fight because he has the demon seeds, right? Those demon seeds get inside of Mihawk and really fuck him up, right? Now he can see that happening, but here's the thing: with all the other things going on, Kurama's smart. He knows how to cleverly, well, he can't focus on a demon seed if he's focused on the singing tree and the fucking carnivorous plants that are coming out too, and he has all these things going on. He can't, like a simple scratch on his face. He might not even think anything of it. He would just be like, he might dodge whatever, but like even if it scratches him, right, the seed will still go in and it'll plant. Kurama is one of those guys who's, boy, he's a tough opponent. I give it to Kurama high difficulty, brother. So the next scenario is in Yu Yu Hakusho. And in Yu Yu Hakusho, strength goes to Kurama, speed goes to Kurama, durability goes to Kurama, endurance goes to Kurama, intelligence goes to Kurama, experience goes to Kurama, close skills I'll give it to Mihawk, range skills go to Kurama, recovery goes to Kurama, and hacks go to Kurama, and then the environment goes to Kurama because it's Yu Yu Hakusho, and the results is the same. Kurama wins high difficulty. Be cool on the corner. And I'm saying basically for this, right? Mihawk's cutting down these plants and shit, right? And he's seeing these plants grow, like okay, that's a plant coming up with, like, because he has future sight, right? And we know he does because of the base on his eyes. And I checked that. Why would he not have that? I'm not signing off on Conqueror's hockey personally, but I can sign off on that and on Minaki for sure. He can do that, right? And he can see that. But there's so much of that shit going on when the demon seed gets planted, and it will take some time to like take effect. Once it takes effect, trees growing out the side of his face. Hey man, you already fucked up. And then Kurama hits him. His hits ain't weak. You might think so because he acts like Suichi Minamino. But Yoko Kurama, that's a different story. That was the White Fox, nigga. That's that's a legendary bandit, Yoko Kurama. That's a whole episode, nigga. You better watch that shit, son. You better watch Yu Yu Hakusho and find out what I'm talking about. I love One Piece and I've seen that multiple times, and I'll tell you right now, and I don't know if I said this before or not, but I've watched Yu Yu Hakusho literally 20 times, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I like the One Piece characters, and I like Yu Yu Hakusho characters, and I know who wins and who don't. And Kurama's winning in both scenarios. But be cool, call in the corner, and let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree or disagree, I don't care. Just let me know. And please watch both animes before watching this video.